Hi everyone, this is Dave and I've got my friend Keith back with me today.
Hello.
We did a video a few weeks ago, me and Keith, where we went to Southport and Keith told us all about his memories of living in Southport. We did a bit of a guided tour. So got Keith back today and we're going to talk about World War II. So we're just going to start walking now. So Roots of England, one of the very important aspects of Roots of England, of course, is history. And what history shows us, why it's important, what it tells us about ourselves today, and the stories that kind of bind us together as a society and as a culture. So if you are, if you're from England, if you're from, it doesn't matter really where you're from, World War II was had a huge global impact. But we're going to focus our discussion through the lens of England and Englishness today. So Keith, welcome back.
Hello, Dave.
How are you doing?
Everyone.
Are you all right, Keith? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're straight away. I'm going to show you here. Keith, can you tell us what we can see here?
An old Home Guard World War II pillbox. This will have been erected for guarding the villages and everything around, and Home Guard would do training and stuff like that. Yeah, basically these were built. You see them all dotted around the countryside locally, because there was a real threat of being invaded by the Germans. And with Liverpool just down the road, a seaport, an important seaport, they were expecting it to be invaded from the land. So hence all these little pillboxes and things like that were put up for the protection of from being invaded, basically.
Okay, Keith. So you can see the design of it as well, can't you, with the lookout points there? And would this? I'm just going to show people. There's a bridge over there. So that's the Leeds Liverpool Canal. If we just zoom in, there's a bridge there. So is this pillbox being placed strategically in this position here to either protect supply lines if needed,
basically,
or cut off supply lines if the Germans invaded?
Yeah, both ways. But you got the canal there, Leeds Liverpool Canal there, which was an important route for getting supplies into major towns and everything. So these were built, but interestingly, most of them were built with precast concrete. Most of the ones around here are concrete. But this was obviously thrown together pretty quickly because it's brick with a concrete roof and concrete sides for the machine gun turrets. And they didn't want them to make them too obvious. So you got a German patrol coming down over the bridge. This would be quite well hidden.
Yeah.
And they could get at them as a form of attack and protection as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of cover, isn't there?
Yeah,
the undergrowth and the vegetation
all
here.
Very interesting.
Yeah. And would this have been built before the war, or maybe in the aftermath of
I would think,
the Dunkirk?
looking at this, it was built pretty quick with bricks.
Okay.
So obviously you had a supply of bricks some farmer would have had or something, and it was just thrown up very quickly.
So would that have been when the threat of invasion from the Germans was very real at the time of spring 1940? Yeah. Would that have been the point that this was probably
because
built
really you've got such a perfect invasion spot, because you've got the coast, the Sefton coastline, which is very flat. They could have got troops, parachuted troops in. Used landing craft for troops to come across, and if they'd invaded the whole of the Sefton coastline, these were major areas that would have been invaded and taken over.
And in terms of the Home Guard, Keith, who would they be? What professions would there have been? What type of men would there have been? What background would they have been from?
They would have been basically young lads that were too young to be conscripted, old men that were too old to be conscripted but still wanted to do the bit, and basically people that were classed as key workers, like farmers, farm workers, people in professions like police, fire service, that sort of thing, but they were still expected to do some form of military work and help protect the homeland, basically.
Okay.
So yeah.
And you mentioned farmers there as well. Obviously this is big farming country here, so this area just on the West Lancs Plain, which is mainly used for agricultural farming, would really have come into its own during the Second World War, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah, because the three main things that they wanted was wheat, which we have a nice crop of wheat here.
Yeah, you can see the wheat growing here.
Milk and egg production, hence the battery system, which I really don't agree with. It's a cruel system, but in times of war,
needs must.
Yeah, so it was for your powdered egg, powdered milk, and obviously wheat. All your cereal crops were very important, and that's what fed the nation and fed the troops as well.
Yeah, that's fascinating, Keith. So we're going to start taking a little walk. We'll just around the circumference of this field, and then we're going to come out onto the bridge on the canal there. So I just wanted to ask you a little bit more, Keith, about World War II. So I mentioned before about the spring of 1940, which was the time in the Second World War when the threat of invasion from the Nazis was at its highest. Obviously, there was the miraculous evacuation of approximately 300,000 troops from the beaches of Dunkirk.
Yeah.
One of my granddads was at Dunkirk. I remember my dad, who's sadly no longer with us anymore. He did say that his dad, my granddad, who I sadly never got to meet, was he only mentioned his time fighting in the Second World War once to him. He said he was on the beaches of Dunkirk, and his abiding memory was the smell of burning human flesh. And it's very, very, when you put it in such stark terms like that, the sacrifice that these men made. And my other granddad, he was fighting in North Africa, you know, as part of the Desert Rats. He was fighting the Italians and the Germans in North Africa, again 1941, 1942, when that long, protracted, drawn-out battle was going on. And again, when I consider that, this is something that I want to ask you about. Really, is the 80 years ago, 3 generations ago. It seems, for me, it feels like I'm very connected to it, but it also kind of feels very distant as well, in so much as how far and how fast kind of society has changed. And one thing that I do worry about, and I'm very passionate about, and I know you are as well,
very passionate,
is keeping alive the kind of the story around World War II, because not through the lens of war necessarily, but what was being fought for, what was being protected. And for me, that was freedom. That was to protect national identity and our culture, language, and basic freedoms. Again, this isn't at all any kind of like discussion really on it's not so much about the war itself, but I wanted to ask you, have we become, in your opinion, a bit too disconnected from
we've become,
our roots?
I think, well, I'm coming up to 70 years old, so I'm still in that era of when I was a child. I knew veterans from World War One and World War Two. Both my grandfathers, my maternal grandfather, the Fire Brigade, London Fire Brigade, went through all the Blitz. My paternal grandfather fought in the First World War. Although he was a farmer, he volunteered to fight, and his younger brother, my Uncle Henry, who wasn't fit enough to join the army, he took the farm over, and my my paternal granddad, fought in the First World War. But during the Second World War, he was very active in the Home Guard, as was my maternal grandfather. Although he was in the Fire Brigade and all the horrors of the Blitz on London and major big cities in England.
Including Liverpool.
Liverpool
yeah,
was decimated.
Only 10 miles down the road.
Coventry was
down the canal.
obliterated.
Yeah, Coventry with the munitions there, yeah.
All the manufacturing places. But he still did his service in the Home Guard. Hence the pillbox that we just videoed there. So it's still very strong in my memory. As I say, I remember as a small child, First World War veterans and Second World War veterans that seemed very young to me as a child. They weren't old people. Very few and far between now. But yeah, but I think the young ones, they've no experience of people that have been through it, so they're becoming more detached from it. But I think it's important that we still keep the memory of what our grandfathers and fathers fought for, as Dave said, to fight against tyranny, the Nazi tyranny. So yeah, I think it's very important to keep it relevant.
Yeah, and I think one of the ways that we can do that is by talking about remembering. For me, it's the idea of sacrifice, and it's the idea of sacrificing for love of country and to protect something that you feel connected to and something that you cherish. So whether that's country, family, I mean, look how gorgeous this is. You know, love of country has many different facets to it, doesn't it? You know, it's something that is worth celebrating, and it's something that is worth protecting. And what are your thoughts, Keith, on if indeed you do agree that we have in many ways kind of become disconnected from events that happened, you know, major events that happened, you know, only 3 generations ago, and what is it that you love about England yourself?
Oh, I just love everything about my country. And the national pastime of talking about the weather. I think it's so unique in the world that we can have 4 seasons in one day. It's like today, I've got my shorts on, but it was so cold, and it's just been so cold recently. Now it's really hot. It's really, well, I wouldn't say hot, but it's really warm now.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about taking this off.
Yeah. Has been so cold, hasn't it, last few days?
I love the unique history. I love the people. Just everything about the country, the countryside, the nature. Oh, the list is endless. The flora, fauna. I mean, just look at that beautiful oak tree there. It's just coming into leaf now. Yeah. This a couple of weeks ago, it was, you wouldn't have seen the leaves on the trees, and it just fascinates me that we can go through a deep, dark, horrible winter that's wet and cold, very little daylight, and then all of a sudden we've got this, and it's light at night, right up till 9ish, 9:30. Yeah, I just love everything that's so unique about the UK, and especially England.
You're certainly right about how gorgeous it is. That's one of the things that I love about England as well. I've travelled to quite a few different. I think I've been to maybe 23 countries. I've done quite a bit of travelling. I love travelling, discovering different parts of the world, their history, their food, their culture, etc., etc. But I still say the English countryside, it's like a slice of heaven on earth. Yeah. I feel so part of it. I feel like I belong to it. It mesmerises me and captivates me and inspires me. It is absolutely gorgeous.
I mean, it just looking at the ground here.
Yeah.
This, about a month or so, 2 months ago, there was nothing here.
It's exploded into life, hasn't it?
It's exploded into life. You've got some tree saplings here. I'm not sure what they are. I think they might be poplar. This wasn't here. The bracken here, these are all new shoots. This wouldn't have been here. The thistles that have come up nice and lush, they weren't here. Yeah, it just amazes me.
Something else, Keith, that we British are famous for.
Butterfly there, look there. A small one there.
Whereabouts? Oh yeah, let's have a look. See if we can.
Shadow out the way.
Oh, there we go. Oh, look at that. That's good. What type is that, Keith?
I'm not sure. Not very well up on butterflies, to be honest, but I can't say as I've seen one of those before.
Oh, that's lovely, that, isn't it? Yeah, something else that the British are well known for is their sense of humour and
that's another one.
their stoicism. Now, how would you say that they are still national traits? The sense of humour, certainly talking about the weather isn't it? It's the first thing we talked about today. But the sense of humour and that
sense of humour,
being able to
I think it's just so ingrained in the English and the. As I say, I don't know about the Welsh, but no, they're great people. But yeah, certainly the English sense of humour, and especially in this area, I've got to mention like Liverpool just down the road, and the northwest of England. It's just such a humour, and especially Scouse, Liverpool sense of humour.
So this is the Leeds Liverpool Canal. So
like it.
Liverpool, it's about 10 miles as far as the crow flies that way, and then this is the Leeds Liverpool Canal. So Leeds is, again, it's about 70 miles as far as the crow flies, but a lot further along the canal. But this is certainly it's an interesting part of the world, isn't it? You've got the beautiful Sefton coast. Just over in that direction, you've got the great city of Liverpool here, and then you've got a huge sweep of agricultural land, some of the most prime farming land in the country, isn't it?
Yeah.
And why would that be, Keith? Is that because the climate, the soil, the topography?
It's the soil, the climate, but mainly the soil, because it was so flat. But a lot of this land here was underwater. You know, say 600-700 years ago. And then you have a lot of it has been drained and what have you, and it's left such a beautiful fertile soil, and it's very flat. I call it the Lancashire prairie land.
Yeah.
You can get machinery on it, it's well drained.
Mm-hmm.
You can get your combine harvesters on it, you can get all your big heavy tractor machinery on it. And yeah, it's a real sort of gem in is the northwest of England, and it grows a lot of food for the country. That's and right. A lot of it is exported. I mean, potatoes is a big crop. Wheat that we've just seen is a big crop. Barley, malting barley for brewing beer, but also as you know, as a food source. We grow a lot of brassicas, cabbages, that sort of thing. Cauliflowers, it's renowned for growing spectacular cauliflowers.
And just on that, Keith, and talking about the crops and the farming, so how important will that have been during the Second World War? What would have been expected? There was the Dig for Victory campaign, wasn't there? How relevant and how important would the farming community have been during the Second World War?
So important, very, very important. I can't stress enough how important these guys were. And women, I've got to stress women as well, because a lot of the men were out fighting. So the women did all the heavy work. So you know, we've got to big up the female of the species.
Absolutely.
Because you had the land army that were women that worked on the land, helped farmers out.
Just quickly to interject, sorry Keith, is it just talking about the ladies during the Second World War? I remember both of my nanas and their stories of the Blitz, and the bravery that they showed, but they never bigged it up. They didn't elaborate. They didn't want any credit. They saw it as their duty, as something that they had to go through. And
sense of duty.
It's just this admiration now. They're no longer with us. Both sadly passed now. But when I look back and I think about what they went through, as well. Both of my granddads out fighting, both of my nanas at home. The Blitz in Liverpool was very badly affected. Obviously you had the docks in Liverpool, so Liverpool got battered for a spell in 1941, and that must have been absolutely terrifying.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
We can't comprehend now.
We can't.
How it was. And nobody complained, did they? They just
Nobody
got on
complained.
and did their duty.
Yeah.
But just going back to this lovely canal here, I wouldn't know how old it is. Perhaps you might know the history of the canal, Dave. But
I think late 1700s, early 1800s. I'd need to check. Something like that.
all dug out by hand.
Yeah, it's incredible when you think about it.
It's amazing. And it was an important supply source during the war, as it connects two major cities in England, Leeds, with all the industry around Leeds, and the coalfields of Yorkshire, and the docks in Liverpool, then where everything was shipped to and shipped from. So Liverpool was a major supply source for the rest of the country, and I don't think it gets enough credit, Liverpool, to be honest.
Yeah, the great city of Liverpool.
And it's a naval port as well,
Yeah.
a big naval port. A lot of guys, a big seafaring history in Liverpool.
Yeah,
A lot of the guys volunteered for the Navy. So there was a lot of sailors from Liverpool joined the Royal Navy and fought the war from ships that were basically big floating targets. I don't think there's enough credit given to Liverpool for what it did during the war.
I think as well, like a lot of port cities, Liverpool, it's kind of like rises and falls, doesn't it, through the
How you
years?
doing? You all right?
Hello, you okay? It once was one of the most important cities during the British Empire, Liverpool. I think something that really kind of affected the fortunes of Liverpool, this is post Second World War, was when kind of the nature of trade changed. You know, there was less trade by sea, more by air. Certainly Britain started trading more with Europe rather than the Americas as well, and Liverpool kind of fell on hard times. There's a political side to this as well, which we won't go in, but what I find fascinating about Liverpool is how it reinvents itself. You know, it fell on very hard times, and it's quite a vibrant place, Liverpool, with, as you say, it's rich in culture, it's rich in history. There's some amazing museums, fascinating, obviously, maritime history in Liverpool and its connections particularly to the Second World War and its importance. And only 10 miles down there, and it's quite amazing to consider actually that you would have been able to see flames probably from here, from the Blitz,
the Blitz in
from
Liverpool.
where we're standing now. You will have been able to see. You know, when that was going on. It's difficult to envisage, isn't it?
Yeah, you can't comprehend it.
You
really.
can't comprehend.
I'll just make a point of the area. Place near to here is Crosby and Waterloo, and on the coast there, it's on the Mersey estuary. And if you go along there, you see all the bricks and rubble. There's a lovely walk up to towards Formby. And then you've got the coast on the side. There's all the bricks, and that's all the rubble from the Blitz.
Wow.
From Liverpool.
Right, I did not know that.
And it's fascinating going and you see bits of churches and stuff like that. Might take a walk up there.
We can do that
sometime. Yeah, it's fascinating seeing. And there's a guy, I forget his name or whatever. He actually pieced together some of the bits of churches and as to where they were in the city of Liverpool, and then he got up pictures of before they were bombed and everything like that.
Yeah,
absolutely fascinating if you're into history.
Visible, tangible history. Yeah.
And you'd say that was the part of the church on such and such a street in Liverpool. Absolutely fascinating.
I'm just gonna we'll just go down here, Keith, just get out this breeze. Something else I was gonna, because there's a bit more cover here, I was going to ask you about is we are so lucky in our country, not just because of the beauty of the countryside and the amazing abundant nature, but also the right to roam. The UK is famous for its footpaths.
Footpaths, public footpaths.
Public footpaths where you can walk through farmers' fields, You can walk down canal towpaths, you can walk down beautiful country lanes and then across more fields and meadows, and there's probably, I don't know, hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of miles of places out in the country that you are free to roam around. I mean, that's something worth celebrating, isn't it, Keith?
It is, certainly is, Dave. I mean, it's so fantastic, but there is a countryside code, but you have got to respect farmers' crops, livestock. I mean, even there's the designated path. You keep to the path. That's right.
Show respect.
Go trampling over what animals are going to eat, and stuff like that.
Or any wildflowers on woodland floors and things like that, you know. So yeah, that's right. We have to be very careful and respect the land. And I think if you feel connected to the land and a part of it, then it's an instinct anyway, isn't it?
An instinct to respect the land.
So we can walk down this path here. It's been a really interesting, and if you're watching this, I hope you've enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, I loved it, Dave. Any opportunity to get out walking in the countryside, I'm up for it. No matter what the weather.
That's right, isn't it?
I don't mind the rain. I've been out in some storms on Southport Beach, and it's been amazing. Yeah. As long as you got the right clothing on.
No such thing as bad weather, just poor choice of clothing. Yeah, that's it, yeah. I knew there was a phrase, something along the lines. Yeah. So if you're watching this, let us know what you think about Keith's thoughts and his recollections, and if you've got your own story to tell about World War II, no matter what country that you're from, we'd love to hear from you. If anything that we've said about England and what myself and Keith both love about our country, if anything resonates, then again, do let us know. We are also, me and Keith, both a part of a community which I lead called Roots of England. It's free to join. Click the link in the description. We've got 62 of us there from all around the world, people who love England and Englishness, and we have some great conversations on there, don't we, Keith?
Very good. Yeah.
So that's free to join, so click the link in the description. Don't forget to subscribe as well if you do like this content and you'd like to see more. Is there anything else, Keith, just before we wrap up?
I think that's it. Till the next time.
Till the next time.
Yeah, we'll do another walk around. Perhaps go to Crosby, head up towards Formby, and we'll have a look at the all the bomb damage, rubble, and that. Yeah. It's anyone into history, it'd be fascinating.
That'd be great, that, Keith. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Thanks very much, guys.
I've really enjoyed it, and so we'll wrap it up there. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll be back soon with another video.
See you later. Bye.